Okay, here we are. We are doing a taste test. These are some of the varieties in my garden, but not all of them. So I'm about to have my family come in, taste them. Some have cheated, and they've been tasting already. Some are prejudiced against anything but red tomatoes.
Only because they look like they're half rotten if they're dark.
So I'm going to have everyone come in and taste and write on a scale of 1 to 5 on the plate what they give that tomato. And then I will come back and give you the results. So as predicted, the old folks did not enjoy the dark tomatoes.
I ain't even going to try them.
What's your favorite one so far?
The highest I got was 3.
Really?
And somebody put a 6 down.
Somebody put a 7 down.
What's the rating level?
Well, it's supposed to be 1 through 5.
1 to 5.
That must have been Allison.
Dark
I
tomatoes
haven't. I've only
matter.
given 2 so
No,
far.
I
This is
don't
your
like it.
one. Never do such a thing.
Oh, 1
You
to
can
5?
say that without a margin of doubt. This one got a 6, huh?
Oh, I like those.
There's also donuts, so you might want to wait for dessert.
Samuel. I haven't liked any as many as much as that one.
I like
I think this one I
Yeah,
had
don't
before.
say apple. What's that number 4? High blood pressure, Phil.
I'll give this one a 5. That one was very solid.
This one was your favorite so
This
far?
was crazy good as that. That one was
That's the
amazing,
best one.
Yeah.
Really? I gotta try it. I haven't tried it yet.
Give this one a 2, I guess.
I'm not eating those dark
I
ones.
don't even hurt anything.
They're
Try them.
just
Dark-
different.
They're good.
No, dark tomatoes don't. Dark tomato lives don't matter.
If you li-
You're worse than your father.
It looks like they're rotten. I'm not eating those.
If you don't like, if you kind of like the same kind of tomatoes that I do, just put a 2 or 1 on all 3 of them.
This one though has 1 good rating.
Oh, I haven't tried this one yet.
Oh, jeez.
Wow,
Who
this
gave that
one's
one a
getting
4?
5s. Ooh.
I gave it a 1.
No, that one was. Can you put a 3 down there for me?
Down where?
It's a
Here?
3 or 4.
Ooh, I
I'll
kind
go
of
with
like
where
that
you
one.
go. It's not bad.
Okay, so it's a couple days later, and I have the results of the unofficial tomato taste test. I do know there are better ways to do taste testing. However, I had limited time and willing people, so I had to take advantage of it while I could. So what I did is I averaged the scores of the tomato taste, and I put them in order from lowest to highest, and we're going to talk about the tomatoes. We're going to talk about my experience with them in the garden. I'm going to show you the seed packs here, and yeah, we'll get to the best tasting, if you will, at the end of the video. So first up was a surprise to me. The Jarvan Johnsons, that's what the GJ stands for. These are the scores. And the average was a little less than 2. Now, Jarvan Johnson is a pretty standard heirloom that I know a lot of people grow. For me in the garden, they've been a good size. They're beautiful tomatoes. They were some of the first to get early blight. And they haven't exactly been super productive. So I am not sure that I will grow Jarvan Johnsons again. I should also note that I don't know what I was thinking, but I did not take part in the tomato tasting. So I don't know which of these tomatoes is my favorite. But I have plenty more opportunities to be tasting tomatoes this year. So that's Jarvan Johnson. The next one is 1884, which someone really loved. I should note that 1884 is a purple tomato, and as you saw, some people could not get over the fact that it was a purple tomato, and so they didn't even try it. So we only had 3 testers here. 1 liked it, and 2 didn't. So the average was a 2. The 1884s I got from Two Seeds in a Pod, which I don't know much about the company other than I got these seeds because I had ordered several tomato packs from them and none of them germinated. And so they sent me some free samples. The 1884s, I have to say, were very hardy seedlings. They survived my aphid infestation in February, and they've been great plants to grow. So I have no complaints about the plants. They're very similar to Cherokee Purple and Paul Robeson and some of the others. This one I do not have a seed pack for. This is the Super Fantastic, which I did not grow from seed. I purchased these from a local farm. And again, you can see by the scores that they didn't blow anybody away. So I probably will not be growing these again. This was a surprise. This is the Cherokee Purple. Again, not a lot of scores because some people did not want to even try the purples, but it only got an average score of about 2 1/4. They look just like this. I have no complaints. They've been producing well. I can see myself growing these again because I like them. But it is what it is. Here's another one, Paul Robeson. As you can see, somebody gave this a 5, which, if you remember, we did a score of 1 through 5, but somebody also gave it a 1. So that's what they look like. The plants have been pretty hardy. All of my plants at this point have some signs of early blight, but no one's given up the ghost yet. This next one is Kellogg's Breakfast. Again, it was not a red tomato, so only 3 people tried it, and it was right in the middle, as you can see. Actually 4 people tried it. There's another score down there. So somebody gave it a 4, the rest gave it a 3. I'm finding Kellogg's Breakfast to be very similar to Dr. White Cheese. They're beautiful, they're good size. I enjoy the yellow tomatoes, so I will either grow Kellogg's Breakfast or Dr. White Cheese. It's going to depend on the taste test that I do to see which I decide to grow. Now this one, red tomato, so you can see more people tried it. Average score of 3.5, and this one was the favorite of my mother and sister-in-law. And it's one of the few determinate tomatoes that I'm growing, which I will definitely grow this again because I do prefer determinate tomatoes. They're easier to care for. They don't require as much staking and tying and pruning. They require 0 pruning. I have been taking the early blight leaves off, but other than that, they're easy to grow. So Homestead will be coming back to next year's garden. This next one was the favorite of my brother and my girlfriend's boyfriend. They loved this one. It is triple crop, which I am growing because of Luke at MI Gardener and Jess at Roots and Refuge. They recommended this one. So my brother was very vocal that this was definitely the best tomato. Unfortunately, triple crop has been very low producing for me. It's supposed to grow huge tomatoes, and the ones that I've gotten are small. The plants aren't that healthy. They're not very resistant to disease. So I may try to grow these again next year just to see what happens. But triple crop and Homestead were the ones that blew everyone away. Well, not everyone, a couple people away. The rest of these tomatoes are ones that had higher scores, but less 5s. my sister-in-law didn't follow directions. She gave this a 7 out of 10. So I had to translate that into out of 5. So basically the average of this one is a 3.75. This is Dr. White Cheese. I've been loving these. The plants are doing very well. The tomatoes are great size. They're healthy. No sign of blossom end rot on these. So like I said, I will be probably growing Dr. White Cheese or Kellogg's Breakfast again. Also, I think they just look really pretty on a plate with lots of tomatoes. This is pink Brandywine. So as you can see, several people gave it 5s. They enjoyed it, but the average was a 4. This is a classic heirloom. These plants were some of the first in the garden to pick up early blight. So I haven't been very impressed with their disease resistance. And they haven't been really producing wonderfully, so I may or may not grow the pink Brandywines again. This one I do not have a seed packet for because, again, these were purchased locally. These were Better Boys. And so as you can see, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So pretty consistent. I will probably grow these if I can find them again. The production has been okay. The plants are pretty healthy. And they're good for canning. So I will give them another shot. This is Hillbilly. As you can see, tied overall with Better Boy, but no 5s. Hillbilly is kind of an orange, yellow, reddy kind of tomato. And again, it's beautiful. It looks pretty on a plate of tomatoes. And interestingly enough, I mistakenly put out 2 Hillbillies, and the scores were a little different, but the average was right around the same. They both got about 4 for the average. So that was the highest scoring tomato, even though it didn't blow anybody away. So these are the packets. I've got more tomatoes for next year, and these certainly are not all of the varieties that I grew. They were just the varieties that I had thought to label ahead when I was harvesting and that I took with me. There were 12 varieties in total, and I have a lot more than that in the garden. So hopefully we'll be doing another taste test at some point this season, and this helps you out as far as what we thought the tomatoes tasted like. All right, friends, until next time.